आपको ये वाला टैक्स चाहिए या ये वाला टैक्स चाहिए? इस साल ये वाला टैक्स दे सकते हो, अगले साल वो टैक्स रिजीम दे सकते हो, कभी ये कहीं भी नहीं है। इन नो कंट्री दे आर मल्टीपल टैक्स रिजीम्स। और सर अभी आया,
where is it mentioned in the bill? Where is it mentioned in the bill? Please come to the bill.
I have time, sir.
Yeah, please come to the bill.
I am on finance, I am on economy. What is the Q2 data revealed? Sir, the Q2 data has revealed कि अब तक जो मैंने बोला है वो कहीं मैं हवा में नहीं बोल रहा, सच्चाई में बोल रहा हूं। इस बार का Q2 का डेटा 5.4% सबसे कम है। ये सर पिछले क्वार्टर से सबसे कम है। पिछले क्वार्टर में Q1 में आपका 6.7% था, अब Q2 में आपका ग्रोथ 5.4% आया। ये क्यों आया? क्योंकि आपका इंडेक्स ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोडक्शन कम है, क्योंकि आपका जीवीए कम है, इसीलिए हो रहा है। क्योंकि आज अर्बन डिमांड कम है, इसीलिए आज हो रहा है। ये पूरा जो जीडीपी अगर चल रहा है उसका कारण एक है कि गवर्नमेंट थ्रू कैपेक्स इज पंपिंग मनी। और जिस दिन गवर्नमेंट का कैपेक्स निकल जाएगा, अलग अलग स्कीम्स में पैसा चला जाएगा, रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर में पैसा चला जाएगा, तो ये पूरा का पूरा हमारा इकोनॉमी और खराब हो जाएगा।
माननीय गौरव जी,
सर बहुत महत्वपूर्ण।
You are not talking about the bill. You are talking all around, not the bill. Kindly, please come back to the bill.
I hear you. I hear you.
Come back to the bill.
I hear you. सर इन्होंने क्या कहा था?
Please.
इन्होंने क्या? I hear you. इन्होंने 2000 अभी कुछ महीने पहले क्या कहा? मैं प्रधानमंत्री की बात कर, मैं प्रधानमंत्री की बात। प्रधानमंत्री ने क्या कहा? एक है तो सेफ है। प्रधानमंत्री की बात है, प्रधानमंत्री की बात तो सुनोगे, प्रधानमंत्री की बात तो सुनोगे। प्रधानमंत्री ने क्या कहा? एक
Sir,
है
if you do not
तो
come back to the bill, I will have to
पहले मुझे समझ नहीं आया।
I will have to restrict your speech.
सर पहले मुझे समझ नहीं आया कौन सेफ है।
Please, I am giving you last 5 minutes
वो
to
एक
come to
कौन
the
है?
bill.
वो एक कौन है मैं समझ नहीं आया। फिर मैंने मीडिया की सुर्खियां पढ़ी तो मुझे समझ आया एक है तो सेफ है। इसका मतलब क्या कि अगर मीडिया कंपनी छीननी है तो सीबीआई आपके साथ है, अगर एयरपोर्ट आपको लेनी है तो ईडी आपके साथ है, अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कोयला का माइन लेना है तो एसबीआई आपके साथ है।
अमेंडमेंट बिल के बारे में बोल रहे हैं।
सोलर पावर का प्रोजेक्ट चाहिए तो सोलर एनर्जी
बैंकिंग अमेंडमेंट बिल के बारे में बोल रहे हैं,
आपके साथ है।
आप किस बिल के बारे में बोल रहे हैं
सर?
काइंडली कम बैक टू द बैंकिंग अमेंडमेंट बिल।
इनकम टैक्स ईडी के साथ क्या और हमको पता नहीं। सीमेंट कंपनी अगर चाहिए तो ईडी आपके साथ है, और अगर लैपटॉप और फोन अगर लैपटॉप और फोन कोई जांच की एजेंसी ले तो एमईए भी आपके साथ है, एमईए भी आपके साथ है। मार्च 2023 में लैपटॉप और फोन हड़प लिया गया, जांच हो रही है किसको कितना रिश्वत दिया गया, भारत को बताया नहीं लेकिन एमईए को पता था। और अगर हम चाहते हैं कि कोई जांच हो, अगर कोई जांच हो तो एसबीआई भी आपके साथ है। तो इसीलिए जब तक मोदी है, एक है तो सेफ है। क्या कहते हैं? सबका साथ सबका विकास। कहां सबका साथ, कहां सबका विकास? हमें तो बस एक का विकास देख रहा है और एक का साथ ही हमको दिख रहा है। हम और कौन से एक नहीं, ये क्यों बोला था सर? ये तो बिल्कुल बोला सर। ये अडानी से इतना डरते क्यों है? अडानी से इतना डरते क्यों है सर? अडानी से इतना डरते क्यों?
Sentences are withdrawn from the record.
अरे आप देश के सेवक हो, आप अडानी के सेवक नहीं हो, आप अडानी के सेवक नहीं हो, आप देश के सेवक हो, आप देश के सेवक हो, आप अडानी के सेवक नहीं हो।
Cannot take out his name.
कौन सेफ नहीं?
When the honorable member is not in
अडानी
the
सुन
house,
के
you
ही
cannot
हलचल
take
क्यों?
his name.
अडानी सुन के ही हलचल क्यों? आप देश के सेवक हो, अडानी के सेवक नहीं। देश की जनता आपको तनख्वाह देती है, अडानी
प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है।
तो सर कौन सेफ नहीं?
स्पीकर साहब, ये
आज के दिन में कौन सेफ नहीं?
इनको बिल पे बोलना
किसान सेफ नहीं।
और जो बिल के
सर बैंक में सभापति महोदय इधर, सभापति महोदय इधर, किसान सेफ नहीं। किसान केसीसी लोन का किसान की बात कर रहा हूँ, किसान की बात कर रहा हूँ। किसान को केसीसी लोन रिन्यू करना चाहिए, रिन्यू करना मांगता है, पर नहीं हो रहा।
ये संसद है।
केसीसी का लोन उसका रिन्यू नहीं हो पा रहा। सर टाइम है सर, अभी टाइम है।
कार्रवाई से बाहर हो ये
सर युवा शिक्षा लोन चाहता है, लेकिन शिक्षा लोन उसको नहीं मिल रहा बैंक से।
I already told that the record is deleted.
स्टार्टअप क्या चाहता है? स्टार्टअप चाहता है कि उसको बैंक से लोन मिले, स्टार्टअप चाहता है कि उसको बैंक से लोन मिले, लेकिन उसके पास
Kindly be seated for a minute.
एक मिनट, ये सर सर आज काफ़ी दिन के बाद आज हाउस अच्छी तरह से चल रहे हैं और हमने बिल पे चलने का बिल पे चर्चा करके अच्छा से अभी शुरुआत हुई है। फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने ऑलरेडी बिल को टेबल किया है और सबका सुन करके रिप्लाई देने का बात किया है। यहाँ जब बिल के चर्चा होते हैं एक स्टैंडर्ड है, वो नए एमपी नहीं है, गौरव गोगोई जी डिप्टी लीडर भी है और इस हाउस में 3 बार आ चुके, वो नए नहीं है। किसी भी बिल में बोलते समय अगर आप बिना सीमा तय किए प्रधानमंत्री जी को आप गाली देंगे और किसी का नाम लेंगे, किसी बिजनेसमैन का नाम चर्चा लेंगे, ये चर्चा का जो स्तर है उसको गिराता है। मैं अनुरोध करता हूँ, मैं गौरव जी आपको अनुरोध करता हूँ, आप जरूर बोलिए, हम आपका बोलने का अधिकार छीनने के लिए हमारा पास कोई हक नहीं है, लेकिन आप बिल अब तक कोई तरीका है, ये तुम ही बोलते रहो, फिर क्या बात करते हैं? रूल से चलेगा कि नहीं हाउस? ये रूल रेगुलेशन से हाउस चलता है कि नहीं है? तुम जो चाहे मर्जी बोलेगा क्या? ये तरीका नहीं होता है। या जब बिल पे चर्चा होता है, बिल पे केंद्रित करके बोलना होता है, ये कोई राजनीतिक भाषण के लिए नहीं होता है। ये गलत बात है। हम बिल पे सुनना चाहते हैं, मंत्री जी बिल पे सुनना चाहते हैं, आप बिल पे नहीं करते, इधर उधर का बात करने से कैसे होगा? देखो चर्चा का स्तर को मत गिराइए। Sir, we should not diminish the standard of the debates and discussion, the convention of this very great house. Let us not reduce it to तमाशा। अब स्टैंडर्ड में बात कीजिए, स्टैंडर्ड में जवाब देगा, ऐसे नहीं होगा। हम लोग आपको इज्जत करते हैं, आपको भी इज्जत करना होगा। One side ये गाला-गाली नहीं चलेगा।
Please listen to him. निशिकांत दुबे जी, माननीय निशिकांत दुबे जी।
सर ये हाउस नंबर 94 रूल 94 क्या कहता है सर? 94 कहता है, और ये गौरव गोगोई जी को जानना चाहिए और सारे अपोजिशन को जानना चाहिए, द डिस्कशन ऑन ए मोशन दैट द बिल और एज द केस मे बी the bill as amended be passed shall be confined to the submission of arguments either in support of the bill or the rejection of the bill. The member while making the speech shall not refer to the details of the bill further than is necessary for the purpose of argument which shall be of general character. जनरल कैरेक्टर का कोई भी आर्गुमेंट नहीं हो सकता है। बिल के सपोर्ट में, क्लाउज के सपोर्ट में या क्लाउज के विरोध में बोल सकता है। 94 एकदम साफ है और ये 94 का वायलेशन है सर। 94 रूल 94 का ये वायलेशन है और आप उनको कहिए कि बिल के सपोर्ट में या विरोध में बोलेंगे।
Yeah, kindly be seated. I heard him. Kindly be seated. Kindly be seated. Please go back to your places and kindly be seated. 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 Please take your seat. No, you can't do like this. You are disrupting the house. The entire nation is watching you. Please sit down. No, please sit down. Please sit down. I'm speaking.
You are responsible, sir.
Listen. The rule number 94 says, I'm reading only a part of the rule 94. I'm not reading the entire rule number 94. I am reading only a part of it. Please listen. Please. Please. I am doing. Please don't remind me of my job. I know what I am doing. Please listen to me. No. Now listen. The member, while making the speech, shall not refer to the details of the bill further than is necessary for the purpose of arguments, which shall be of a general character. What is the previous sentence? The discussion on a motion that the bill, or as the case may be, the bill is amended, as amended, be passed, shall be confined to the submission of arguments either in support of the bill or the rejection of the bill. So you have to decide whether you are supporting the bill or not supporting the bill and restrict to the discussion of the bill. And this is the 6th time I am requesting you to restrict your discussion, to confine your discussion to the bill only. Yes.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय। तो सर मैं किसकी बात कर रहा हूँ कि आज बैंकिंग सिस्टम अनफेयर हो चुका है। बैंकिंग सिस्टम आज गरीब, किसान, छात्र, अनुसूचित जाति के लिए, आदिवासी समाज के लिए नहीं काम कर रहा सर। एक समय था सर कि इंदिरा गांधी जी ने बैंकों का राष्ट्रीयकरण किया था। क्यों किया था? ताकि गरीब को बैंकिंग सिस्टम
I have given you so many opportunities.
बैंक की बात कर रहा हूँ सर।
No.
अब बैंक, I'm talking about banks now.
Sir,
I'm talking about banks.
Sir, why are you taking
I'm talking about
proper
history.
nouns?
I'm talking about the history.
Talk about the bill. Why are you talking about the proper nouns?
Sir, let me. I am by giving you that the banking system today is unfair and it is broken. The banking system, when it undergo nationalization, the objective was to open bank branches in remote areas and to make banking accessible to the poor STs. And that is what is not happening today. What is happening with farmers? Farmers who want their KCC loans to be renewed are not getting because their credit rating is not being corrected by the banks. Students who want student loans, who are from ST communities, they want student loans. They are first generation learners. They are not getting student education loans. What is happening to startups, young startups, people who are coming from the poor and middle class, who don't have a land bank as a collateral, but they want to open up a startup, they are not getting bank loans. MSMEs, SMEs who want to expand their bank, they have to run around banks and CEOs and managers. They have to keep going, knocking on doors, but they still don't get the requisite funds to expand the project. And that is why the banking system today is broken. So we also have recommendations to this bill.
Thank you,
As
sir.
opposition, we can also recommend. What are we recommending? That banks also must disclose where are their major investments. Because these days banks are also operating as mutual caps, as mutual funds. Banks are also operating mutual funds. So many Indian depositors are depositing in a bank's mutual cap because they have the reputation of that bank to consider. And they put in and invest, talking about investor protection. Middle class people today are investing in SBI primarily because of SBI's solid reputation. But then why? The investor must know how much exposure does SBI have to companies undergoing investigation, whether inside India or outside. It is for investors to know because their mid caps, the stocks with respect to the mid caps are associated. Similarly, penalties, sir. Penalties for companies who are failing to disclose their unfair practices, their penalties must be higher. Today, a company is trying to settle a case with SEBI, big company, big billionaire. You know how much settlement fee they are offering? 28 lakhs. Are they insulting the SEBI?
Kindly
are they
control,
insulting
sir.
the law? The fourth largest or the fourth biggest, the so-called billionaire, his companies are offering 28 lakhs as
Sirji, kindly
settlement fee.
conclude.
This is what happening. So our
Kindly conclude.
recommendation is our recommendation is that increase the penalties for companies who don't follow shareholding disclosure norms.
Kindly conclude.
Thirdly, we are talking about governance, talking about boards. We must look at boards of institutions and regulators as well, and ensure that no such regulator or bank on its board has any member who has a conflict of interest with a company that is getting the largest of that regulator or the सर्विसेज ऑफ दैट बैंक। तो इसीलिए मैं बार बार, तो अभी तक मुझे आदरणीय मंत्री ने कहा कि आपने प्रधानमंत्री का, हमने बोला ही नहीं सर, और उल्टा मुझे याद आया, मैं तो उनका मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं कि अगर कीनिया, बांग्लादेश, श्रीलंका में प्रोजेक्ट चाहिए तो मोदी जी आपके साथ है। ये है आपका एक है तो सेफ है मॉडल। इसलिए हम चाहते हैं सर, आई एम कंक्लूडिंग, इसीलिए हम चाहते हैं सर that you give more teeth to SEBI. SEBI wants to investigate, but it has no CBI power, income tax power, ED power. Why? Because CBI, income tax, ED are all busy after opposition politicians.
Please conclude. In what way is it relevant to the bill now?
How will they find where Mehul Choksi is?
धन्यवाद
How will they find out?
आपने मुझे आज मौका दिया है बैंकिंग लॉ अमेंडमेंट बिल 2024 पे अपने प्रस्तावना को रखने के लिए। जहां तक बैंकिंग सेक्टर का विषय है, इसमें कोई दो मत नहीं है कि आज हिंदुस्तान पूरे विश्व में चौथे नंबर की अर्थस्थिति पे है, इकोनॉमिक पोजीशन पे है, और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जो स्वप्न है, जो साकार होने वाला है उनके इसी टर्म में, इंडिया इज गोइंग टू बिकम द थर्ड मोस्ट पावरफुल इकोनॉमी ऑफ द ग्लोब। प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने 2047 तक विकसित भारत, इसका स्वप्न देखा है, ये साकार हो रहा है। तो इसलिए बैंकिंग सिस्टम एक रोबोस्ट तरीके से काम करे, उसमें रिफॉर्म्स हो, ये अनिवार्य है। इससे पहले मेरे ज्ञानी मित्र बोल रहे थे, उन्होंने एक है तो सेफ है कहा, मैं कहूंगा ठीक कह रहे थे। जब रिकॉग्निशन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम इन द बैंकिंग सेक्टर, रिकॉग्निशन ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स इन द बैंकिंग सेक्टर, एंड देन recovery and resuscitation, recapitalization of the public sector banks और reforms, जब ये चारों आयाम एक हो जाते हैं तो पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक सेफ हो जाते हैं। जब रिफॉर्म्स एक हो जाते हैं तो बैंक सेफ हो जाते हैं। और मोदी जी जब कहते हैं एक है तो सेफ है, वो केवल हम सब के लिए एक मंत्र नहीं है, वो हम सब के लिए हर धारा में, चाहे बैंकिंग रिफॉर्म्स के लिए भी ये महत्वपूर्ण है। As far as the amendment of the banking sector is concerned,
permit him to speak.
It is to streamline the banking operations, to align them with the contemporary financial practices. It is the commitment of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to improve the bank governance, and it is to enhance the investors' protection. Also, to enhance the depositors' protection. As far as this amendment is concerned, let me also thank the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Finance Minister who is present in the House, that in fact in this amendment, the number of nominees have been increased. We are talking about the middle class. Today, a middle class person can nominate 4 nominees in succession और साइमल्टेनियसली। हमारे बैंक में लॉकर्स होते हैं, बैंक से हम लॉकर लेते हैं, आर्टिकल रखते हैं, नॉमिनी का प्रोविजन मुझे आश्चर्य लग रहा है, अभी तक बैंक लॉकर नॉमिनी प्रोविजन नहीं था। मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा नरेंद्र मोदी जी का कि इस प्रकार से सक्सेशन के साथ 1 2 3 4 इन सक्सेशन, इसके बाद ये आप सक्सेशन के साथ नॉमिनीज के नाम को अपॉइंट कर सकते हैं। आज आपने अभी रूल नंबर 94 के विषय में कहा, द एम्बिट शुड बी विद इन द बैंकिंग laws, the ambit should be within the rules framed for the reforms of the banking sector. I want to remain within this ambit, within this framework, and want to bring out some very important and pertinent points, sir. Sir, the banking crisis was one of the biggest legacies that we got from, thanks to them, we got from them in 2014. Let me give you a data. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji led NDA government, when they took the office, the gross NPA, GNPA ratio in public sector banks was 16%, and when Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji left the office of Prime Minister, he brought it down to 7.8%. Thanks, Atal ji. Thank you very much. In September 2013, when they were in governance concluding side, this ratio went up to 12.3%. Atal ji had given them 7.8%. It went up thanks to the phone banking system. Dada, ठीक আছে तो English टा? Phone banking system. Phone banking system. You are trying to improvise upon me, so I thought I'll take your permission and I'll seek your permission. Phone banking system of the Congress party, where the two P's, you need not be a performer, but you need to be a powerful man with powerful connections in the system. फोन उठा करके इनके नेता बोलते थे, लोन दे दो, लोन वापस आएगा कि नहीं देखना नहीं है, देखना नहीं है। ये इसी फोन बैंकिंग सिस्टम का नतीजा रहा कि हम एनपीए में गले तक डूब गए थे। थैंक यू नरेंद्र मोदी जी, आपने इंसॉल्वेंसी बैंकिंग कोड लाके आज सिस्टम को सुधारने का काम किया है। आज हम आगे बढ़े। आज मैं हाउस से एक निवेदन करूंगा, मैं पहली बार का सांसद हूं, सब ज्ञानी गुणी लोग बैठे। नहीं, आप भी ज्ञानी है सर, मैं आपके ऊपर कोई आक्षेप नहीं लगा रहा। आप ज्ञानी गुणी लोग बैठे हैं, मैं आपसे एक निवेदन कर रहा हूं कि आज आप नागरवाला केस जरूर पढ़ें। हम पार्लियामेंट में खड़े हैं सर। I want to bring to your notice a famous case of 1971. May 24, 1971, there was a phone call. There was a phone call to the parliamentary branch of State Bank of India. Phone uthaya Mr. Malhotra, the bank manager, and he heard the voice of Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister. Indira Gandhi said in 1971 to Nagarwala, 60 लाख रुपए दे दो, 60 लाख रुपए दे दो बैंक से निकाल करके नगरवाला जी को। 60 लाख रुपए बैंक से निकाल करके इंदिरा गांधी जी के कहने पर नगरवाला को दे दिया गया। बाद में इस पूरे इशू पे रेड्डी कमीशन बैठा। इंदिरा जी का नाम तो नहीं आया, मगर उनको क्लियरेंस भी नहीं मिली पूरी तरीके से। आज भी बैंकिंग फ्रॉड का थ्रिलिंग स्टोरी, मिस्टीरियस स्टोरी ऑफ द बैंकिंग फ्रॉड ड्यूरिंग इंदिरा's टाइम इज नागरवाला केस, फोन बैंकिंग सिस्टम। सभापति महोदय, मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं कि जहां तक ग्रॉस एडवांसेस है बैंकिंग सिस्टम का, ग्रॉस एडवांसेस, सभापति जी मैंने ऐसा कुछ तो नहीं कहा है कि लोग मेरे पे नाराज हो रहे हैं। सभापति जी, जहां तक ग्रॉस एडवांसेस है पीएसबी, पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक्स का, आपको जान के आश्चर्य होगा कि 2004 मार्च में ये 6.6 लाख करोड़ का था ग्रॉस एडवांसेस। जो ऋण दिया जाता है तुरंत वापस लेने के लिए, वो ग्रॉस एडवांसेस 6.6 लाख करोड़ का था। मार्च 2012 में जब इनकी सरकार थी यूपीए की, वो बढ़ करके ग्रॉस एडवांस 39 लाख करोड़ का बना, 39 लाख करोड़ का बना। जिसको मन उसको उठा के लोन दिया इन लोगों ने, लोन वापसी नहीं ली। सभापति महोदय, मैं आज फक्र के साथ कहना चाहता हूं, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जब ऑफिस संभाला उसके पश्चात तत्पश्चात gross NPA of the state-owned lenders stood at 4.4% and net NPA at 1% at the end of September 2023. At the end of September 2023. अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं बैंकिंग सिस्टम के लिए कह रहा हूं, our banking system was on ventilator. हमारा बैंकिंग सिस्टम वेंटिलेटर पे था. It took a Modi ji to come rescue, recover and resuscitate. RRR. तेलुगु में अभी एक बहुत बड़ी मूवी है RRR. Rescue, resuscitate and recover the banking system of India. Sabhapati Mahoday, that the elevated external vulnerability that the Indian banks were under, the UPA government is whooping. The India's external vulnerability shot up because of over-dependence on external commercial borrowings, what we call as ECBs. The borrowing crisis, which was one of the most infamous crises of UPA government during 2004 and 2014. When the Atal Bihari, I'm astonished that they don't want to listen to this, but I believe there are certain issues which I would surely be highlighting over here. I would like to bring the attention to the fact that the Modi government turned around the banking system, the banking sector, and over 10 lakh crore rupees bad loans have been recovered in 10 years.
Somebody, 1 second, please.
Under rule. Mention the rule.
Kindly be seated. Kindly be seated. Kindly be seated.
Sir, point of order. 94.
I will listen to you. Sir, I will listen to you if you are seated. Kindly be seated. I will listen to your leader. Please be seated. Please be seated. Please be seated. I will listen to you. Please be seated. I will listen to you. Please be seated. Please be seated. I will listen to you. Please be seated. Who is standing? Please be seated. Please be seated, sir. Please be seated. No, please allow the house to function. You cannot stand as you wish. Please see that. Please be seated. I'm requesting you. Why don't you listen to my request? Please be seated. No, it cannot go on like this. Please be seated. Please. I'm requesting everybody. No, sir. Please look behind. No, sir. There are 10. Okay, sir. Okay. Mr. Raja, would you like to speak?
Mention the rule.
Sir.
He mentioned the rule. Okay, rule number.
Sir, 94. Sir, 94. Read.
90 or 94?
94.
94, okay.
Nishikant referred. Sir, 94.
What? Minister?
Why you are laughing?
Minister?
Don't be a laughing stock. Don't be a laughing stock. Laughing stock. Why you are laughing?
Mr. Raja, kindly
Why you
address
are
the chair.
laughing?
Sir, 1 second,
Sir,
please.
Justice
Please,
must
1
be
second,
said.
please. Please address the chair.
Honorable member Nishikant submitted before this house 94. Goga is exceeding the limit beyond the 94. Now the honorable member is saying in 1971, Indira Gandhi picked up the phone and the loan was granted by State Bank. Is it within the bill?
Yeah.
Are you having any substantial evidence? Where is the evidence? Indira Gandhi is not in this house. Indira Gandhi is not in the house. Beyond the meets and bounds of the bill, you are referring to Indira Gandhi name without any reason and baseless allegations. But chair is permitting. What does it mean? Yes. What does it mean? Give me the ruling.
I heard you. Mr. Sambit Patra, no, I heard you. 1 second, please. You have anything to say in defense, I will listen. Otherwise, then I'll take a decision. Please. Yeah. 1 second, please.
Sir, I quote from, please the honorable members, sir, to you, sir, I draw my powers from what you laid in the rule number 94. We have to be within the ambits of the bill that is being discussed, the amendment that is being discussed. Here we are discussing the Indian banking sector and the amendment therein. So of course, the Nagarwala case is one of the foundations on which reforms of the banking sector are based. It is recorded, it is noted. It is a foundation on which the reforms of banking sector are based. And by the way, I would like to remind Sir, Honorable Member, Indira Gandhi did not pick up the phone. Mr. Malhotra picked up the phone. He was the manager. Indira Gandhi, assumingly, Indira Gandhi ji was a caller. So you have got the whole thing wrong.
माननीय मंत्री जी, किरण रिजिजू जी,
राजा जी,
one second, please be seated. Please
First
be
of
seated.
all-
I'll give you a chance.
first of all,
Please be seated.
sir, while sitting here,
Please,
I
please.
heard
Sir, Speaker, sir.
some of the members from opposition bench said, Chairman, hi. You raise slogans against the chair. I take serious objection to that. चेयर के खिलाफ आप इस तरह से टिप्पणी नहीं कर सकते हैं. यू कैन रेज रूल्स. अरे एक मिनट सुन लीजिए. आप रूल के तहत बात रख सकते हैं, लेकिन चेयर के खिलाफ हाय नाराज. आपने जो नारा लगाया, नाराज हो सकते हैं, आप नारा नहीं लगा सकते चेयर के खिलाफ. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, ये कोई तरीका है? ये कोई तरीका है? ये बात करने का तरीका है? ये कोई बात करने का तरीका है? आपका नेता, आपका ये यहाँ कांग्रेस पार्टी का लीडर भी है, डिप्टी लीडर भी है. अगर ऐसा ही कोई भी उठ करके खड़ा करेगा, ऐसे मर्जी से बोलेगा, सदन ऐसे नहीं चलता है. आपको ऑथराइज किया है तो आप उठिए, मगर यह व्यवस्था का बात उठाया. राजा ने रूल को कोट करते हुए कहा, मैं इसीलिए बता रहा हूं, सबसे पहले चेयर के खिलाफ जो नारा लगाया, चेयरमैन हाय, ये बहुत गलत है और इसको जरूरत पड़े तो माफी मांगना चाहिए. दूसरा, निशिकांत दुबे ने जो बात, हमारे संबित पात्रा ने जो बात रखा है, उन्होंने एक एग्जिस्टिंग केस को बताया है. कहानी उन्होंने मनगढ़ंत कहानी नहीं बनाया, एक एग्जिस्टिंग केस को उसने रेफर किया है. वो केस उन्होंने कोई यहाँ डिस्कवरी नहीं किया, इसलिए वो केस रिकॉर्ड में है. वो हम डिस्कवरी करके नया केस तो निकला नहीं है. इसलिए मैं चाहता हूँ कि इसके लिए आज बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बिल पे चर्चा हो रही है. आप बिल पे ही केंद्रित रहे, हमारे मेंबर भी बिल पे ही केंद्रित रख करके बात रखेंगे. आपके लोग भी बिल पे ही बोले, ये मेरा आग्रह है.
एक
Sir, I think while Sambit Patra is speaking on the banking legislation, he actually crossed all the limits. Indira Gandhi ji was assassinated. She is a martyr of this country. She fought against Pakistan and won the war. Entire Indian are treating Indira Gandhi as a mother. I think I am reminding the members, when Pakistan war was won, Atal Bihari Vajpayee told Indira ji was a Durga at that point of time. Therefore, I think what word he used? What word he used, sir? Sir, he used the word. Indira Gandhi took the telephone and called the bank manager and asked the bank manager to be. Where he got there? Sir, he was witness there. Whether he was present there.
Okay.
Whether he was present there.
एक सेकंड प्लीज एक मिनट प्लीज वेणुगोपाल जी, अब वेणुगोपाल प्लीज, आपको अरे सुनिए एक मिनट प्लीज. हाँ, मैं एक व्यवस्था दे रहा हूँ. एक मिनट प्लीज. अगर आपको कोई ऑब्जेक्शन है तो स्वर्गीय इंदिरा गांधी जी का नाम उसमें से एक्सचेंज कर देंगे, लेकिन मेरी ये अपेक्षा है, जो संसदीय कार्य मंत्री जी ने कहा कि चेयर पर कभी भी टिप्पणी नहीं करें. चेयर पे जो बैठा है वो हमारे लिए प्रतिष्ठा का सवाल है. हम अगर सदन की मर्यादा रखेंगे तो उचित रहेगा. आप बोलना चाहते हैं?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak, sir, in between.
एक विषय बोल रही है वह एक अने बिल के एक कमेंट्स आपने किया उस पर टिप्पणी करना चाहती हैं आप?
Sir, I will definitely say all this and more during my reply. I will say all this and more during my reply. But no, I have not finished yet. You may thank me afterwards. I have not finished yet, please. Sir.
बुला लो उनको।
बैठे हैं चेयर में, बुला लो।
हाँ ये सर आप तो बोलिए।
Sir, I'd like to appeal to you, sir. Since the point derived from, 94 and then said confine yourselves to the bill, I'm here wanting to hear and then wanting to reply. And you've taken a very considered call, sir. I respect your view that you would remove the name of former Chief Prime Minister. Equally, I think quoting Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji in the context of he said she was Durga. We all respect Mrs. Indira Gandhi for her achievements. Of course, we equally remember her for emergency. But I think it is important. Vajpayee ji's name being quoted as though he said Mrs. Indira Gandhi is Durga is contentious. There's no proof. There are enough people who said he has not said that. Therefore, even that statement that Vajpayee ji said this should be equally removed. And you have taken a considered call, sir. Why? Mrs. Indira Gandhi is not respected? I said Mrs. Indira Gandhi is respected. Do you have an objection? I said Mrs. Indira Gandhi is respected. Do you have an objection on that? What is this, sir? What is this? Sir, equally. Therefore, I appeal to you, sir. You said that will be removed from Sambit Patra's statement. I appeal to you that under 94, if people have spoken beyond 94, and I take the Honorable Member Gogoi's name here, most of his speech was beyond 94. Would you consider please removing that also from the report? Member K.C. Venugopal is very, very clued into what I'm saying. And therefore he is saying, I'm challenging you. No, I'm appealing to you to remove Gogoi's complete statement, which was beyond this bill. And equally, the member who said, Chairman, hi, remove that as well, sir. That's my request to you.
प्लीज वित्त मंत्री जी ने एक मिनट प्लीज वित्त मंत्री जी ने जो सवाल उठाए हैं एक मिनट प्लीज बैठिए एक मिनट प्लीज बैठिए दादा प्लीज वित्त मंत्री जी ने सवाल जो उठाए हैं कि माननीय अटल जी ने क्या बोला है, मुझे लगता है कि वो रिकॉर्ड में नहीं जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि उसकी रिकॉर्ड की सत्यता होने के बाद ही जाना चाहिए उस विषय को, क्योंकि वो भी पुरानी घटना थी। नंबर 2, मेरी ये अपेक्षा है माननीय सदस्यों से, सभी सदस्यों से, सभी दल के सदस्यों से, हम सदन की गरिमा बनाते समय जो बिल है और जो बिल में संशोधन लाए गए हैं उसके परिप्रेक्ष्य के उसकी परिधि में बोले हैं। हम यहाँ बिल पर अगर पॉलिटिकल आरोप प्रत्यारोप लगाने लगेंगे तो इससे सदन की गरिमा बढ़ेगी और जो विधेयक पे चर्चा होती है, आप अच्छे संशोधन दो, अच्छे विचार दो, बिल में कोई कमी हो और संशोधन करने हैं तो वो विचार दो, देना चाहिए, क्योंकि जितनी विधेयक पर डिटेल चर्चा होगी, सार गर्भित चर्चा होगी, तो निश्चित रूप से सरकार के विषय ध्यान में आएगा। रूल्स बनाते समय भी और आवश्यकता हुआ तो बिल में जो विधेयक लाए गए उनके खंडों पे भी विचार करते हैं। यही सदन की गरिमा रही है, तो मैं सोचता हूं कि इस गरिमा को आप बनाए रखें। सदन में विधेयक पर, एक मिनट प्लीज, विधेयक पर चर्चा करते हुए हम पॉलिटिकल परिप्रेक्ष्य में नहीं जाए। जो विधेयक में संशोधन लाए गए हैं, जो विधेयक के कंटेंट्स हैं, उसके परिप्रेक्ष्य में बोल सकते हैं, लेकिन एक अच्छी परंपरा इस सदन की रही, उसको बनाए रखें, ये अपेक्षा है आप सबसे। एक मिनट प्लीज, हो गया आपका? हाँ प्लीज कंक्लूड करें, आप भी कंक्लूड करें।
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय। मैं अपने कंक्लूजन में कुछ महत्वपूर्ण बिंदु बैंकिंग सेक्टर के ही और इस बिल के रिलेटेड रखना चाहूँ। दिस बिल बेसिकली इज अ रिफॉर्म बिल फॉर द बैंकिंग सेक्टर। किस प्रकार से हमारे बैंकिंग सेक्टर का रिफॉर्म है, अनवरत रिफॉर्म चल रहे हैं, उसी कड़ी में आगे रिफॉर्म कैसे होगा उसकी एक चेष्टा है। सभापति महोदय, हमारी सरकार के आने के पश्चात हमें जान के ये खुशी होगी 2014 से 2023 के बीच भारतीय बैंकिंग प्रणाली में लगभग 10 लाख करोड़ रुपए जो बैड बैंक लोन के कारण हम जिससे वंचित थे वो रिकवर किया गया है। 10 लाख करोड़ रुपए 2014 से 2023 के बीच में। ये बहुत सारे रिफॉर्म्स, जैसे आज का रिफॉर्म हो रहा है, उन्हीं रिफॉर्म्स के कारण संभव हुआ। आज यहाँ ईडी और सीबीआई की बात हुई, मैं उस पर नहीं जाना चाहूंगा, मगर दो डेटा है ईडी को लेकर, ये यहाँ जरूर बताना चाहूंगा बैंकिंग सेक्टर से। ईडी ने लगभग 1105 बैंक फ्रॉड को इन्वेस्टिगेट किया है और उसमें से जो कॉन्फिस्केट किया है, अटैच्ड किया है प्रोसीड्स ऑफ क्राइम, वह 64,920 करोड़ है। 64,920 करोड़ हैज बीन कॉन्फिस्केटेड फ्रॉम प्रोसीड्स ऑफ क्राइम। और सबसे बड़ी बात सभापति महोदय, दिसंबर 2023 तक ये जो कॉन्फिस्केटेड अमाउंट था उसमें से 15,180 करोड़ रुपए पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक को, पीएसबीज को दिया गया है। यही तो बैंकिंग रिफॉर्म होता है। और मैं आज माननीय मोदी जी का धन्यवाद करूंगा और मैडम निर्मला सीतारमण जी का भी धन्यवाद करूंगा कि जो रीसेंट बैंकिंग रिफॉर्म्स हुए हैं उसके कारण इतिहास रचा है भारत के बैंकों ने। significant milestone by recording its highest ever net profit of rupees 3 lakh crore rupees। और ये सब संभव हुआ है हमारे डिसाइसिव लीडरशिप के कारण। सभापति महोदय ने कहा कि क्लॉजेस, जो 7 क्लॉज आज मैडम फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने कहा है, उन 7 क्लॉज को मैं सिर्फ टच करके फिर बैठूंगा। पहला क्लॉज था डेफिनेशन ऑफ फोर्टनाइट, पखवाड़ा जिसे हिंदी में कहते हैं। पहले ये पखवाड़ा जो होता था, फोर्टनाइट होता था, ये फ्राइडे टू फ्राइडे होता था। इस बार ये निर्णय लिया गया है नॉट फ्रॉम फ्राइडे टू फ्राइडे बट 1st to 15th, और 15th से 30th would be the 15th and 30th would be the dates, and this standardizes the calculation of the cash reserves। ये एक स्टैंडर्ड सेट करेगा जो अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा रिफॉर्म है। दूसरा है टेन्योर ऑफ द डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ द कोऑपरेटिव बैंक। ये टेन्योर को किस प्रकार से, तो आप देख सकते हैं कि डायरेक्टर जो है कैन नॉट होल्ड ऑफिस बियॉन्ड 8 years था पहले, इसको बढ़ा करके 10 साल किया गया है। और ये किया गया है कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर में एक स्टेबिलिटी लाने के लिए, सो दैट द कोऑपरेटिव सेक्टर व्हिच फॉर्म्स द बैकबोन ऑफ द बैंकिंग सिस्टम इन आवर कंट्री एंड इन वेरियस एक्टिविटीज, इसको एक स्टेबिलिटी मिले, उसके लिए मैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का धन्यवाद देता हूं। जो तीसरा विषय है वो है प्रोहिबिशन ऑन कॉमन डायरेक्टर्स इन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स। इसमें भी संशोधन लाया गया है, अमेंडमेंट की बात की गई है, और दिस एनहांसेस द कोऑर्डिनेशन एंड स्ट्रेंथेन्स द लीडरशिप विद इन द बैंकिंग सिस्टम। चौथा है सब्सटैंशियल इंटरेस्ट इन अ कंपनी। पहले 50% या 10% शेयर या 5 लाख रुपए अगर आप होल्ड करते थे तो आप उसमें डायरेक्टर नहीं हो सकते थे, आपको डिस्क्लोज करना पड़ता था। वो 2 करोड़ कर दिया गया है। स्वाभाविक रूप से दिस फैसिलिटेट्स, बड़े इन्वेस्टर्स को फैसिलिटेट करेगा, जिससे हम सबका भला होगा, गरीबों का भला होगा। सेटलमेंट ऑफ अनक्लेम्ड अकाउंट्स, ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण क्लॉज है। अनक्लेम्ड अकाउंट्स 7 वर्षों के बाद अब वो अनक्लेम्ड अकाउंट्स IEPF में जाएंगे, एंड एनी इंडिविजुअल हु सब्सिक्वेंटली वांट्स टू क्लेम देयर अनक्लेम्ड अकाउंट्स, शेयर्स, इंटरेस्ट कैन क्लेम इट बैक। आई कांग्रेचुलेट मैडम फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर फॉर ब्रिंगिंग इन दिस क्लॉज। एंड लास्टली, रेन्यूमरेशन ऑफ द ऑडिटर्स। अब जो पहले स्ट्रिंजेंट मेजर था कि आरबीआई ही इस पर निर्णय लेती थी कि रेन्यूमरेशन कितना होगा, ये फ्रीडम ऑफ बैंक को दिया गया है कि रेन्यूमरेशन ऑडिटर्स का कितना होगा. दिस काइंड ऑफ रिफॉर्म्स इज व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द विकसित भारत ऑफ 2047. बट इट वुड बी एन इनजस्टिस इफ आई डू नॉट मेंशन आई एम अ फर्स्ट टाइम member of this house, sir. Previously, when I used to watch in the television, once I was watching and the Lok Sabha was in process, I saw the then finance minister, I would not name him because the rule says I cannot name them. He in the house said that, do you believe that in a digital India, sabji wala, thela wala, redi wala would be able to connect with digital India? This is not possible. ये संभव नहीं है कि सब्जी वाला के पास डिजिटल इंडिया का कुछ हो सकता है, वो पे कार्ड लेके घूमेगा. सर, टाइम्स हैव चेंज्ड. मोदी जी प्रूव्ड कॉन्ट्ररी टू व्हाट द देन फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर वाज सेइंग. आज मैं जब अपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी पूरी में परसों गया था ड्रेस रिहर्सल देखने के लिए नेवी डे के लिए, मुझे बहुत दिनों बाद सी बीच में गोलगप्पे खाने का मन किया. मैंने गोलगप्पे खाए तो पेटीएम करके मैं आया हूं. सर, यही फर्क है यूपीए का और एनडीए का.
Thank you. Before I call Shri Rajiv Rai ji, Saugat Rai ji, आपको 1 मिनट. हाँ.
Please allow me.
Yes, please.
1 minute.
एक second.
Sir, while the discussion was going on, Honorable Member Nishikant Dubey referred to Rule 94. The discussion on a motion that the bill, or as the case may be, the bill as amended be passed shall be confined to the submission of arguments either in support of the bill or for rejection of the bill. This is all right, well taken.
Thank you, sir.
But
Thank
here,
you.
sir, please listen to me. Sir, you are also new to the House. Please listen to me. You may pick up a little bit of information from me. We are not in the stage of passing the bill. We are in the stage of consideration of the bill. Please read this. 93(1). When a motion that a bill be taken into consideration has been carried and no amendment of the bill is made, the member in charge may at once move that the bill be passed. So what is now going on? Now 93(1) is going on. We are discussing a motion for consideration of the bill. While we are discussing a motion on the consideration of the bill, it gives us a wide leeway, wide passage. We can discuss the bill and all other aspects connected to the bill. Problem is that clever lawyers always cite a wrong law to establish their point. That is what Mr. Nishikant Dubey is trying to do. He is trying to be clever by half. By not quoting 93(1) and just reading 94, he is misleading the House. There is wide scope of discussion.
Sir, I heard you, sir.
Of course, not to the extent that Mr.
Okay, one second.
Patra did. By bringing in Honorable, respected Indira Gandhi's name, but certainly all aspects of, even if we mention the name of Adani.
Sir, thank you. Because you have taken the name of...
Please understand.
Because you have taken the name of Shri Nishikant Dubey ji, I have to give him an opportunity to speak.
Of the bill.
Yes, please.
क्या है
Please, sir. Thank you, sir.
कि मैं स्वागत
You have
भाऊ
taken
का
his name. I heard you. Your point is well taken. It is comprehensively stated.
चेयरमैन सर, मैं स्वागत बाबू का बहुत रिगार्ड करता हूँ. प्रोफेसर हैं सर, कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं. उसके बगल में सर लिखा हुआ है 94 में स्कोप ऑफ डिबेट ऑन मोशन और पासिंग ऑफ द बिल. यदि इसके पीछे ये लिखा हुआ है सर, तो डिबेट ही हो रहा है. आधा ट्रुथ बताकर पूरे देश प्रयास करें प्रोफेसर साहब, यही मैं अपेक्षा करूंगा इस हाउस से सर.
थैंक यू सर. श्री राजीव राय जी.
धन्यवाद सर.
Shri Rajiv Rai ji.
धन्यवाद सर.
I have given permission to Shri Rajiv Rai ji. No, please. I have not given permission to you.
It has nothing to do.
Kalyan Banerjee ji.
Has to be interpreted within the line.
राजीव राय जी, आप बोलिए. आप बोलिए. आप बोलिए.
धन्यवाद सर, आपने हमें मौका दिया। मैं अपने राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व का आभारी हूँ कि राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व ने मुझे कहा बोलने के लिए। उपाध्यक्ष महोदय,
आप बोलिएगा प्लीज।
हम बहुत दिनों से सुन रहे थे कि बैंकिंग अमेंडमेंट बिल आ रहा है, तो हमारे जैसे लोग जो गांव के हैं, गरीबों के हैं, बड़ी उम्मीद के साथ सोच रहे थे कि जब सुधार की बात होती है तो सुधार में ये भी बताया जाएगा जिस बीमारियों से सबसे ज़्यादा लोग ग्रसित है बैंक के नियमों से, जैसे सिविल हो गया, बच्चों के लिए एजुकेशनल लोन हो गया, एग्रीकल्चरल लोन हो गया, छोटे छोटे व्यापारियों के लिए हो गया, इन सब बारे में बातें होगी। मैं ये नहीं कहने इंदिरा जी की तरह इंदिरा जी और अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी का नाम नहीं लूँगा, मैं जानता हूँ निकाल दिया जाएगा, लेकिन ज़रूर उम्मीद कर रहा था कि 2000 रुपये के नोट में जो चिप थे वो बता दिया जाएगा कि कहाँ गए और वो चिप 2000 रुपये के नोट क्यों गायब हो गए। मैं
इलीगल थे इसलिए
मैं ये भी उम्मीद कर रहा था कि अब तक बता दिया जाएगा बैंकिंग लॉ में अमेंड करके कि जो 15 लाख रुपए आ गए थे वो कब और कैसे बांटे जाएंगे। लेकिन फिर ख्याल आया कि हम किन लोगों से उम्मीद कर रहे हैं, इनके लिए 2 लाइनों के बाद बात करेंगे। इनसे ना उम्मीद करो इतनी सादगी के साथ, इनसे ना उम्मीद करो इतनी सादगी के साथ, ये दौर अलग हैं, ये लोग अलग हैं। अगर इस दौर में इनसे वफा ढूंढ रहे हो तो बड़े नादान हो, जहर की शीशी में दवा ढूंढ रहे हो।
बहुत अच्छा।
आदरणीय उपसभापति महोदय, हमारे मित्र डॉक्टर संबित पात्रा गोलगप्पे खाए, पेटीएम से पैसे पे कर दिए। 2%, 1-1.5% के हिसाब से कितना पैसा कहाँ चला गया। अगर पेटीएम कमीशन नहीं लेता तो मेरा पैसा सीधे गरीब को जाता, 10 रुपये का उसको 10 रुपये मिलते और बीच में दलालों को दे दिया गया। और पहली बार हुआ कि पेटीएम का प्रचार माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने किया, ये परंपरा भी पहली बार शुरू हुई। उपसभापति महोदय, पिछले 3 सालों में बड़ी अच्छी टर्मिनोलॉजी लाते हैं लोग। मैंने एक पोस्ट कर दिया था, पिछले 3 सालों में उद्योगपतियों के 5,64,365 करोड़ रुपया राइट ऑफ कर दिए गए।
अलीगढ़ के हैं।
अगर ये कहा जाएगा
अलीगढ़ के हैं
कि माफ कर दिए तो आप कहेंगे नहीं राइट ऑफ कर दिए। मैं आज आपसे अपने नेता के सामने मांग करता हूं कि देश के किसानों के ऊपर चाहे जितना भी कर्ज हो सबको राइट ऑफ करने की घोषणा कर दो, हम स्वागत करेंगे।
ठीक बात।
ये आपकी बुद्धि कहीं और नहीं आती है। आपने चौथी सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था की बात करते हैं, तीसरी सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था की बात करते हैं। हमारे जैसे लोग तब सदन में नहीं थे, लेकिन टीवी पर सुनकर हमारा सीना चौड़ा हो जाता था जब कोई कहता था कि देश में रुपए के केवल कीमत ही नहीं गिरती है, देश का स्वाभिमान भी गिरता है। तो हमें लगा था कोई आएगा स्वाभिमान बढ़ाएगा। मैं तो आपसे जानना चाहता हूं कि देश के स्वाभिमान को किस रसातल में आप भेज दिए और कहां तक गिराने का इरादा है। चौथी अर्थव्यवस्था हो जाएगी, डॉलर की कीमत के सामने रुपए की कीमत खत्म हो जाएगी और आप अपनी पीठ थपथपाएंगे। इस देश की वो बैंकिंग सिस्टम है जो गरीबों के घर से दिन भर की कमाई निकालता है। मैडम, मैं आपसे अनुरोध करूंगा, विचार जरूर करिएगा कि अगर गरीब दिन भर सब्जी खरीदता है और रात को बैंक में डालता है, अगले दिन बैंक में डालता है, फिर निकालता है, तो अपने पैसे पर ट्रांजैक्शन फीस। पहली बार इस देश ने यह भी देखा कि गरीब जितनी बार बैंक में जाएगा, बैंक से पैसा लेकर आएगा, कुछ न कुछ आपको देगा। आप तो मंदिर के उस महंत की तरह हो गए कि जब जाएंगे कुछ देकर आएंगे। ये तो ठीक नहीं है। इस देश में मैं बड़ी लड़ाई लड़ा, सदन में नहीं था, एजुकेशनल लोन के लिए। आप जब नियम निकालते हैं छात्रों के एजुकेशनल लोन के लिए तो बड़ी अच्छी तस्वीर पेश करते हैं। एक तो हमारा मामला पार्लियामेंट की कमेटी ने हल किया था। जब बच्चे जाते थे एजुकेशनल लोन के लिए तो 50% का मार्क्स या बैंकों से नियरेस्ट दूरी का। बैंक एजुकेशनल लोन के लिए जहां लड़का पढ़कर साक्षर होगा, अब 9%, 10%, 12%, 14%, 4 लाख से ऊपर कोलेटरल सिक्योरिटी की बात करते हैं। और कोई व्यापारी ले चला जाता है तो उसके लिए कोलेटरल सिक्योरिटी है या नहीं है मुझे तो नहीं पता है, लेकिन अगर आपने रिकॉर्ड मार्जिन का बनाया है तो देश ने वो रिकॉर्ड भी देखा है कि सबसे ज्यादा पैसा देश का विदेशों में लेकर चले गए और वो भाई लोग नहीं आए। आदरणीय उपसभापति महोदय, एक मैं मैडम आपका ध्यान आकर्षित करना चाहूँगा सिविल का। और मुझे लगता है कि बहुत सारे लोग जो सिविल स्कोरिंग के लिए 2005 में नियम बने थे, ये बैंकों की तानाशाही मैं स्वयं भुगतभोगी रह चुका हूँ। लड़ाई लड़ते लड़ते एमपी बना तो शायद उसका समाधान अब हो रहा है। आप एनपीए ना हो, अच्छे इंटेंशन के साथ ही आया था, तभी जब सरकार लाई थी। लेकिन ये एक तरफा कानून, क्रेडिट कार्ड सबके पास होगा, आपके पास फोन आएगा, आपको क्रेडिट कार्ड सैंक्शन हो गया है, क्रेडिट कार्ड का पैसा भी चढ़ना शुरू हो जाएगा। एक दिन बड़े पैसे इकट्ठा करके जब घर बनवाने के लिए, बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए, बेटी की शादी करने के लिए जब आप जाएंगे तो पता चलेगा कि आपका सिविल स्कोर खराब है। तब आप ढूंढने लगेंगे तो पता चलेगा कि उस टाइम पर एक क्रेडिट कार्ड मिला था जिसको आपकी जानकारी भी नहीं है। बैंक एक तरफा इंफॉर्मेशन लेते हैं, गरीबों का सिविल खराब कर देते हैं, मध्यम वर्गीय लोगों का सिविल खराब कर देते हैं, और जब उसको अपनी जरूरत पड़ती है, कोई तो सिस्टम ऐसा होना चाहिए ना कि जब दोनों तरफ की बातें सुने, बैंक के पास अगर इंफॉर्मेशन जाता है कि ये आपने पेमेंट नहीं किया या यहाँ डिफॉल्टर है, तो बैंक एक बार पूछता है, चाहे सिविल से एक मेल आता, यू हैव रिसीव्ड दिस इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम द बैंक, काइंडली क्लैरिफाई इफ यू आर ए डिफॉल्टर और यू हैव पेड दैट अमाउंट, उसके बाद करना चाहिए। सिविल को सुधारने की जरूरत है। मैं तो समय पता नहीं कितना है, 2005 में एक बैंक से लोन लिया था घर बनाने के लिए, 15 साल तक लगातार बिना एक सिंगल डिफॉल्ट के पे कर दिया। जब 15 साल के बाद में बैंक में जाता हूं कि मेरा एनओसी दे दो, तो कहा जाता है कि बीच में बैंक का रेट बढ़ गया था, इसलिए आपके ऊपर 19 लाख रुपया और है। उसी अकाउंट में मेरे पैसे, वहीं मेरे सारे अकाउंट स्कूल कॉलेज हो के, न कहीं एक कम्युनिकेशन मेरे पास आया, न कोई मेल आया। ऑटो डेबिट कर सकते थे, हमको रिमाइंड करा सकते थे, और मैं आपको भी मंत्री जी लिखा, और दुख के साथ कहूंगा कि आपने उस पत्र का जवाब भी नहीं दिया, समाधान तो दूर की बात है। शेम। मैंने आपको लिखा था, और कहेंगे तो लेटर का डेट भी मैं आपके सामने समक्ष रख दूंगा। मैं 3-4 बातों की तरफ और ध्यान देना चाहूंगा संशोधन करने रिकमेंडेशन के लिए। एजुकेशनल लोन, आज के जो बच्चों की पढ़ाई पर खर्च आ रहा है, उसके ध्यान में रखते हुए 20 लाख रुपए तक का लोन ब्याज मुक्त करने की घोषणा सरकार को करनी चाहिए, अगर सरकार सही में उस दिशा में है। डिजिटल करेंसी की बातें होती है, अब तो घर में बैठे बैठे बैंक में पैसा रखने में भी डर लगता है। एक फोन आएगा, फोन की बातें कर रहे थे जब हम और आप सब पैदा नहीं हुए थे, जो व्यक्ति यहाँ नहीं है, और डिजिटल अरेस्ट, पैसा चला जाता है। ये आप ही के टेक्नोलॉजी की देन है ना।
नंबर 1 फ्रॉड यूपी में हो रहा है,
सबसे ज्यादा फ्रॉड हमारे यूपी में है। लाखों में नॉमिनी का नाम बढ़ा दिया। क्या बताने का कष्ट करेंगे इस सदन को कि अगर मेरे लाकर में करोड़ों रुपया है और चोरी हो गए या गायब हो गए, तो बैंक की लायबिलिटी कितने की बनती है? जहां तक मेरी जानकारी है, बैंक की कोई लायबिलिटी नहीं है। 1 लाख रुपया तक यूपी में 37 लाख से एक साथ चोरी हो गए थे।
कानपुर में लॉकर चोरी, गाजियाबाद में लॉकर चोरी हुई,
कानपुर में हुए, गाजियाबाद में हुए, आंध्रा में हुए, कुर्ग में हुए। कितना आप निकालेंगे तो आपके पास लिस्ट आ जाएगा। लाकर में आदमी मेहनत का पैसा ले जाकर रखता है, आप फीस लेते हैं, लेकिन पैसा गायब हो गया तो कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं। साइबर फ्रॉड के ऊपर आप कानून बनाते हैं, व्याख्यान देते हैं, लेक्चर देते हैं, मैसेजिंग होती है, लेकिन हर रोज लोगों का पैसा लूटा जाता है। मैं गरीब व्यापारियों के लिए जो कर्ज दिए जाते हैं, उनको मैं 20 लाख रुपया, शिक्षा लोन पर मैं 20 लाख रुपया, और किसानों का फिर मैं मांग करूंगा। अगर बैंकिंग रिफॉर्म करना है तो जो आपके मित्र चले गए हैं बाहर, जो इस देश के तथाकथित उद्योगपति चले गए हैं, जिन बातों को कहकर आप सरकार में आए थे
अपने उन पुराने वीडियो को देख लीजिए, अपने पुराने भाषणों को देख लीजिए, उस पर अमल लाइए। और देश के किसान जो भी बॉर्डर पर तरस रहे हैं, भीतर आने के लिए आत्महत्या कर रहे हैं, बच्चे आत्महत्या कर रहे हैं, बेरोजगारी बढ़ रही है, उस पर ध्यान दीजिए, तब बैंकिंग रिफॉर्म होगा। गरीबों का पैसा अपने बैंक में डाल देने से रिफॉर्म नहीं होता है। उस रिफॉर्म का कोई मतलब नहीं है कि आप चौथी अर्थव्यवस्था बन जाइए और एशिया की सबसे कमजोर करेंसी का नाम भारतीय रुपया हो जाए। इन सब
हम तो जा रहे हैं,
नहीं कोई बात नहीं,
इनको बोलना है
क्या खत्म करो। एक खजांची का जन्मदिन होता है, बोले खजांची बैंक में जो पैदा हुआ उसका जन्म।
और हमारे लिए आपकी नोटबंदी, हमारे लिए उस देश के लिए उस नोटबंदी, जो नोट अपने पैसे के लिए बैंक के लाइन में जो
माँ लगी थी,
हम माँ लगी थी, और जब बच्चा पैदा हो गया, उस खजांची का जन्मदिन हमारे राष्ट्राध्यक्ष मनाकर आपको याद दिलाते रहते हैं तो नोटबंदी नहीं था। सही कहा गोगोई जी ने, आप तब ठेंगा दिखा रहे थे, आपके लिए अट्टहास का विषय था, आपके लिए गर्व का विषय था। अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी कहे होते कि पैसे तो बैंकों से ले लिए लेकिन मैं विदेश जाने नहीं दिया, तब हम सब ताली बजाए होते। लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री जी खुश थे कि गरीबों के घर में शादी है, बैंक में पैसे नहीं है। तो उन सब पुरानी बातों को सीखते हुए संशोधन की जो बात करते हैं तो कॉस्मेटिक चेंजेस नहीं होने चाहिए, सही संशोधन होने चाहिए। इस उम्मीद और विश्वास के साथ कि संशोधन गरीबों के लिए होना चाहिए, संशोधन किसानों के लिए होना चाहिए, संशोधन छात्रों के लिए होना चाहिए, तब तो संशोधन की बात बनती है, नहीं तो बात बेमानी होगी। आपने मौका दिया, धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। माननीय श्री कल्याण बनर्जी जी।
सब in connection with the Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024, I wish to speak on few points. First of all, I am coming to the clause 3 of the bill, where the banking regulation at section 5, in subclause 5 lakh rupees, the word 2 crore rupees or such other amount. Earlier, if you have a 5 lakhs, you could have been the director. Now it has been enhanced up to 2 crore rupees. Whom do you want to bring it? Big industrialists, being capitalists, not the poor people, not the middle class people. Names are on the air who have to be brought in the Indian main economy. That's called banking. You have taken a different route altogether to bring them here. Middle class peoples cannot be now directed. Only the rich people. Next point is RBI control or the supervision is being curtailed by this bill. That is last Friday, instead of last Friday, last day will be substitute. Why? Banks, private or government banks only scared about the RBI supervision. Peoples are having faith on the banks because the RBI ultimately controlling authority is the RBI. RBI is at the top. You are decreasing. Instead of every week, only in the last month. Heavy work will become on the RBI. You have not increased the strength of the RBI's staff. How it can be supervised? Basically, I am completely disputing this and opposing this. Nomination of 4 members. Section 45JA has been amended. 4 persons will be nominated. And as if through the nomination successors' rights are being given, which is completely contrary to well-settled principles of law. Sir, in the case of Ramchandra Talwar and another versus Devendra Kumar Talwar and others, reported in 2010, volume 10, Supreme Court cases 671. While interpreting the same provision, the Supreme Court has said Section 45-ZA merely puts the nominee in the shoes of the depositor after his death and clothes him with the exclusive right to receive the money lying in the account. It gives him all the rights of the depositor so far as the depositor's account is concerned. But it by no stretch of imagination makes the nominee the owner of the money lying in the account. It needs to be remembered that the Banking Regulation Act is enacted to consolidate and amend the law relating to banking it. It is no way connected with the question of succession. All the monies receivable by the nominee by virtue of Section 45ZA would therefore form part of the state of the deceased depositors and develops according to the rules of succession to which the depositors may be governed. By bringing 4 nominees, you are throwing the battle, you are throwing the cord between the successors. Whatever the percentage will be given, that will be the... This is completely contrary to all succession laws. Nominee for the timing hold the money. Why you are bringing 4? This is, I am opposing this. And this 45ZA is now the proposed amendment bill is contrary to the judgment. Now, reduction in the reduction in bank strength. Sir, in view of the amalgamation, merger of these 6 banks, now Canara, Central and Indian Bank, Canara, Central and Indian Bank, total staffs have been decreased to 40,392. 40,392 employee services have been terminated by reason of the merger of the 6 banks. Sir, the 2023 banking crisis was a major event that affected the banking sector and the economy globally. It was the most significant system-wide banking stress since the great financial crisis, which was brought to focus the risk to banking stability. Though we were not in a recession, but projecting its effect, the Reserve Bank of India had perhaps seen incipient delinquency in personal loans when it first advised banks and the NBFCs to strengthen their surveillance mechanism to address the risking system. Deposits in the banks and the financial institutions have been declining, with households as they allocate for savings to mutual funds. Today, everywhere in the banking system, the savings are being decreased, interested to the mutual fund. Why? Because of the rate of interest, rate of income tax. If you are in a mutual fund, 10% tax. If you are in the bank, savings bank account, fixed deposit, here 5 years, 10%, there 5 years, 33%. All are going to mutual funds. This income tax principles and policies, of course it is the prerogative of the Honorable Finance Minister, but I will request you to look into the matter. In a case of mutual fund, 5 years I will pay, if I keep him for the 5 years in a mutual fund even, taking some risk even, I may get 20% from the benefit, I have to pay 10% tax. Whereas if I keep a fixed deposit for 5 years, I have to pay 33% tax. Kindly consider that in your new budget, next budget, kindly consider this point. Now, sir, The GNPA ratio for agriculture was 6.2%, while the GNPA ratio for proposed personal loan was 1.2%. This reduction of NPA is not due to higher recoveries. Most importantly, sir, this, Mr. Patru was saying, Finance Minister will say about the NPA. Very strongly they are saying NPA is being decreased, NPA is being decreased. Not because of the recovery of the NPA, but striking off the NPA itself. That is the niceties of the things that have been done. Jugglery of the words. Writing of the NPA. And it has become a common feature now. Sir, basically in the name of the amendment, the central government is trying to interfere in the state cooperative banking system in respect of nominations and to provide for an increase in the tenure of the directors in cooperative banks. The bill was increased the scope of the exception clause, which could lead to more conflicts of interest of the state government and also interfere with the independence of state cooperative banks. The bill also aims to redefine the concept of substantial interest for bank directorship. The threshold for what constitutes substantial, I have already said this, I will not repeat. From rupees 49 lakhs crore India's foreign debt in 2014 has raised to rupees 205 lakhs crore in 2024. देश आगे बढ़ रहा है. कितना बढ़ रहा है? देखो बहुत देश बढ़ रहा है. देश इतना बढ़ रहा है, धारी में देश बढ़ रहा है. 2014 it was 205 lakh crore and now 49 in 2014, 2024 it is 205 lakh crore. देश आगे बढ़ रहा है, भारी में बढ़ रहा है, कंधा बहुत भारी हो गया, बढ़ रहा है. According to Trading Economic Global Markov models and analysis, expectations, government debt in GDP in India is expected to reach 88% of GDP by the end of 2024-25 fiscal. External debt in India increased to 6.8 to 300 USD million to in the second quarter 2024 from 6,63,800 USD million in the first quarter of 2024. But the gap in loan growth and deposit growth, SBI continues to lose market share in deposits over the years. Now the question is, how much is the interest rate on borrowing? Whether it will be funded, what will be the guaranteed return of investment, and what will happen if SBI fails to repay on time? RBI is informed that rupees 3,207 crore was lost because of 5,082,000 cases of cyber fraud. Yes. He was talking about cyber fraud. Yes. Cyber fraud between 2024 financial years. Sir, who suffers for them? Who? Not the rich people. Only the poor people, middle class people. They are the sufferer for the cyber fraud. Sorry, till today, the government, the central government, and its mechanism, whether it is CBI, whether it is ED, whether whatever the instrumental is, could not detect anyone. Very unfortunate. This is the fraud of cyber kind. Sir, the number of cyber fraud incidents has increased from 75,800 cases in 2023 to 2,92,800 in 2024. Just take it. That means more than 2 lakhs cases have been increased only in a year. What is going to be happening in 2025?
UP is number 1.
Today I was hearing a speech. I don't know whether the Honorable Prime Minister was giving this speech today or not. In the television, he was talking about the cybercrime. I will request the Honorable Prime Minister, save this country from the cybercrime, take an effective step. सिर्फ बातों में कुछ नहीं होता है, काम करना पड़ता है, काम कीजिए, कुछ तो काम कीजिए. The real growth in an economy is built on bank credit to go large industries and infrastructure projects. Deposit mobilization has been lagging credit growth of some time now. As of August 23, 2000, credit offtake in the Indian banking sector was rupees 169.5 lakhs crore, a 62% increase from December 23, and because bank due stood at 2001. According to the latest RBI data, over the past decade, the share of public sector banks has dropped from more than 75% in 2002 12 to less than 60% of the overall system. So there is a need of top priority cyber security issue to check financial fraud. And IT management advanced system for fraud detection is a must for building robust cyber security measures. Strict regulatory compliance to adherence to stringent regulation for data privacy of customers and industry-specific laws like anti-money laundering practice. So the banking law, this bill is a donkey passage towards privatization of the Indian banking sector. Prima facie is to improve bank guarantee and investor protection, but actually a slow pace for selling targets its minimum holding in public sector banks from 51% to 26%. Thank you, sir, for giving me the chance to speak.
Rani Sri Kumar.
Honorable Speaker, sir, before I start talking about this bill, I would like to remind this House that it was Dr. Annal Ambedkar who laid the foundations of the Reserve Bank of India through his work, The Problems of Rupee. It was based on his recommendations that the Hilton Young Commission proposed the establishment of the Reserve Bank of India. Annal Ambedkar proposed the establishment of the RBI so as to establish a better banking system to ensure better economy and well-being of the citizens of this country. But the BJP-led NDA government has been acting contrarily to the vision of Annal Dr. Ambedkar. This proposed bill aims to amend the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, Reserve Banking Regulation Act 1949, State Bank of India Act 1955, Banking Companies Act 1970, Banking Companies Act 1980. The proposed amendment act aims to increase the number of nominees from 1 to 4 nominees per account. It has increased the tenure of directors of cooperative banks from 8 years to 10 years. It has allowed the directors of central cooperative banks to serve in state cooperative banks also. This bill enables the transfer of unclaimed dividend shares, interest or redemption of bonds to IEPF when they remain unclaimed for 7 consecutive years. This bill allows individuals to claim, transfer or refunds from IEPF. This bill has redefined the term substantial interest by increasing the threshold share from 5 lakhs to 2 crores. There are certain concerns with this bill, especially the idea of dual membership and the extent that tenure poses a serious threat of consolidation of power under some individuals. And also allowing the directors of central cooperative banks to serve in the state cooperative board is a clear encroachment of the independent identity of the state cooperative banks. This is one another attempt by the BJP to make the state as a local body or as a municipality. It is against the spirit of cooperative movement. The bill omits any mention of the privatization of public sector banks, a central aspect of the government's reform agenda. Despite Finance Minister's 2021-22 budget announcement to privatize 2 PSBs alongside IDBI Bank, the bill fails to address this issue, leaving the future of PSB ownership uncertain. The bill overlooks critical digital safeguards despite the growing role of digital banking. As financial services move online, cyber security, data privacy, fraud prevention become urgent concerns, yet the bill fails to address these adequately. Additionally, the bill does not establish clear regulations on consumer data protection, increasing the risk of breaches and misuse. Without specific measures for digital fraud, which is more sophisticated than traditional forms, the sector remains vulnerable. And the bill proposes to update the substantial interest to 2 crores as per the present realities, but it would be better to attach it to a specific percentage every year instead of fixing a static amount, so that the bill need not be amended regularly for updating the threshold amount. In addition to this, I would like to address certain serious issues in the banking sectors. NPAs. There is always an accusation against the UPA government by the NDA government that the non-performing assets were higher. But in reality, if we look at the data, it shows a very different picture. As per the RBI data in the past 10 years, the gross NPA accumulation under the NDA government in public sector bank was 1.6 times more than that of the UPA government. Write-offs. Another issue that comes regularly along with the NPA is write-offs. As per the replies given by the government in Lok Sabha, it has been found that in the past 10 years, about 16.26 lakh crores of bank loans have been written off, and among them, the loans written off to large corporates stood at rupees 7.4 lakh crores. The yearly write-offs by the public sector banks had increased from 7,187 crore per year in 2013 to about 1.2 lakh crore in 2023. The government justified the write-offs by saying the banks' write-offs are a part of regular exercises by the banks to clean up their balance sheet so as to optimize their capital. But in reality, it affects the net profits of the banks, which eventually affects the private sector lending. The NPAs by the non-priority sector was just 50% of the NPAs during 2012 to 13, but it has touched 80% by 2019. It eventually leads to less credit being availability for the private sector. Now coming to the agriculture loan, 6% of total lending of any bank has to be advanced to agriculturists, whereas many of the national banks and especially the private banks are not at all complying the rule of advancing 6% lending to the agriculturist. Is it not a discrimination against the farmers who are feeding the nation? The pity is the banks which are averse to the agriculturists by the way of parking the 6% lending, which is actually due to the farmers into the RIDF of NABARD, and thereby earning a huge interest of the money belonging to the farmers. Despite repeated requests to waive off the farmers' loans, this government, which does not hesitate to write off the corporate loans for about 7.4 lakh crores, had repeatedly refused to waive off the farmers' loans, which is a pittance amount. This clearly shows that this government is always an anti-farmer government. The UPA government during its tenure had waived off the farmer loans worth 72,000 crores, and during his tenure, Muthamal Aringer, Dr. Kalaignar had waived off the loans worth 7,000 crores in the year of 2006. And also under dynamic leadership of Thalapathy, our Tamil Nadu government has waived off 7,000 crores farm loans in cooperative banks and also provided interest-free loans worth 35.85 lakh crore to the farmers between May 2021 and December 2023, and still continues to provide interest-free loans to the farmers. Education loan. As per the education loans are concerned, it should be treated as a welfare scheme. Therefore, the interest waived on such education loans should be scrapped. I submit that levying of interest on the needy students is unacceptable. 5 years moratorium for the repayment of loan should be scrapped. The repayment should start only after the concerned student is employed. Demanding repayment before getting an employment is deplorable. Therefore, the government should consider this demand. In addition to that, multiple conditions are being imposed to provide education loan to the students, leading to complexities and harassments. The process should be simplified for the benefits of the students. Now coming to the penalty on common citizens. Because of NPA and write-offs, the bank has started their burden to push over the common citizens of the country. We are all know that the government restricted the number of withdrawal of free ATM withdrawal of money from their own account. They have increased the minimum balance amount in the past decade. They are charging for SMS also. As per a reply given by the government in Lok Sabha this year, it has been observed that there has been increase of over 35% in penalties collected by the public sector banks in the past 5 years. And the most serious evaluation from the reply that the public sector banks had collected over 8,500 crores from the common people as penalties for not maintaining the average monthly balance. And if we include the private sector banks also, then as per a reply given by the Finance Ministry in Rajya Sabha, about 21,000 crores has been collected since 2018 by both the public and private banks. The same banks that had waived off about 7.4 lakh crores to corporate loans had collected 21,000 crores from the common people. And in addition to this, the government had collected over 8,000 crores of transaction through ATMs beyond free withdrawals and 6,000 crores as SMS charges. Why the people should pay charges for withdrawing their own money? Hidden charges. Next comes the issue of hidden charges. The banks have been imposed fees on customers that are not disclosed in the key fact statement of the loan, which eventually leads to higher interest rates on these loans. This issue has become so serious that the RBI governor himself raised concern regarding this at the Monetary Policy Committee in June this year. Now coming to the cyber frauds issue. If this is the scenario in the conventional bank arena, the situation of customers utilizing online banking apps is much more worse. As per a recent survey conducted by the community platform called Local Circles, about 6 out of 10 customers have faced issues of hidden charges in online banking platforms. Last year, the RBI Deputy Governor has raised concern about this issue of mis-selling, which is popularly called as dark patterns. With the increase in digitalization, many security issues have been created. In a recent RTA reply, the RBI has stated that the number of cyber fraud cases had increased from 75,800 cases in financial year 2023 to 292,000 cases in financial year 2024, and about rupees 2,056 crores were lost due to cyber frauds in the financial year 2024 alone so far. And as per an estimation made by Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, loss due to cyber frauds could amount 0.7% of the GDP in future. The senior citizens of our country are the most vulnerable group to these online frauds. There has been multiple cases where the scammers have been specially targeting elderly people. The government needs to promote better cyber security measures to protect the elderly from cyber frauds. Gender disparity in banking. There is a continuing gender disparity issue in the banking sector. As per the global Findex database 2021 released by the World Bank, nearly 20% of women lack access to the bank account in India. The gender disparity in accessibility to banking has to be resolved. Lack of accessibility in rural areas. The banking accessibility in rural areas is a cause of grave concern. In many remote rural areas, the ATMs are located inside the banks. So when the bank closes by 6 p.m., the people also lost access to the ATM. This creates serious accessibility issues for the people in the rural areas. Welfare of the banking employees, another major issue that needs a serious attention in the welfare of the bank employees. As per recent reports, about 500 bank employees in India, especially higher officials, committed suicides over the past decade due to work pressure and abuse by the senior official. I conclude that Dr. Ambedkar envisioned a strong banking sector for our country, but the banking sector has been one of the most affected sector under the NDA government. Measures have to be taken to ensure the issues in the banking sector are solved by keeping the concern and welfare of the common people. Thanking you. Tamil Vellum.
Thank you. Sri Prasad Rao. Super.
ஏமா கடைசி அதை விட்டேன் தமிழ் வெல்லும் இல்லை அந்த கோஆபரேட்டிவ் ஸ்பீச்சிங் ரிப்போர்ட்டர்.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for giving me opportunity. I rise to address this August House as we discuss the Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024 that reflects the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister and the unwavering commitment of this government to reform and strengthen the banking sector. Fulfilling the promise of better bank governance and investor protection, as while explaining, Honorable Finance Minister was saying. So in her 2023-24 budget speech, Honorable Finance Minister promised to improve the bank governance and enhance investor protection through amendments to key financial laws such as Banking Regulation Act 1949, the Banking Companies Act 1970, the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. Today, through the introduction of this bill, that promise is being fulfilled. The Act is not just a legislative measure, it is a testament to the government's aim of streamlining the functioning of banks, ensuring transparency, and protecting depositors and investors alike. This initiative is in alignment with the principles of recognition, recapitalization, resolution and reform pursued by the government in the banking sector. This has enabled remarkable outcomes, with the gross non-performing assets ratio of scheduled commercial banks falling to a 6-year low of 2.8% and the slippage ratio declining from 7.31 in 2018 to 1.78 in 2023. There are 4 major amendments proposed in this bill. One is revising reporting dates for statutory reports. This amendment revises the reporting dates for submission of statutory reports to the last day of the fortnight, month or quarter. The government aims to ensure consistency and transparency in reporting. This amendment will streamline the operations of the banks, reduce compliance ambiguity, and uphold the principles of good governance. It is pertinent to note that the government's reform measures have been comprehensive, combining operational streamlining with financial support. Since financial year 2015, the government has infused 3 lakh crore into state-run banks, and the mega merger of 10 state-owned banks into 4 larger entities has created robust public sector bank capable of driving economic growth. Earlier, we used to have PSBs play a significant role in driving economic growth. This is done by providing timely credit to small business and entrepreneurs. One of the flagship initiatives that enables this is Mudra Loan Scheme. In 2023, states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka have reported over 30 lakh beneficiaries each, showcasing significant progress, while Andhra Pradesh lagged behind with just 10 lakh beneficiaries. Therefore, to ensure robust reforms to create an ground impact, I request the government to revise the targets under Mudra loans for Andhra Pradesh. Second, increasing the number of nominees. A recent RBI report highlights a significant rise in unclaimed deposits, which have surged by 26%, reaching 78,000 crores. To address this pressing issue, the proposed amendment introduces provisions for nominating up to 4 individuals, allowing for both simultaneous and successive nominations to ensure better management and claim of these funds. By simplifying the nomination process, the government has not only reduced bureaucratic hurdles but also prioritized depositor convenience and protection. The government's responsiveness to evolving challenges ensures that no depositors' hard-earned money lies unclaimed or inaccessible. The third one is enhancing investor protection. The third amendment provides for the transfer of unclaimed dividends, shares and interest or redemption of proceeds of bonds to the Investor Education and Protection Fund. While the reserve fund available under IEPE has grown from 83 crores in 2018-19 to 86 crores in 2023-24, spending on investor education has disappointingly declined. In the light of cybercrime reports indicating that 14,000 crores were duped from investors, this amendment underscores the urgent need to strengthen the education and awareness. It is vital that funds under IEPEF are effectively utilized to safeguard investors against fraud and exploitation. The fourth one is extending directors' tenures in cooperative banks. This amendment extends the tenure of directors in cooperative banks from 8 years to 10 years. This measure is in alignment with the ongoing efforts in the state of Andhra Pradesh to improve the functioning of cooperative societies. The State Legislative Assembly introduced the Andhra Pradesh Cooperative Society Amendment Bill 2024 to enhance the transparency, efficiency and the management of cooperative societies. Honorable Speaker, this amendment reflects the unified functioning of the double engine Sarkar, the seamless partnership between the leadership at the center and the states working together for the progress of every sector of our economy. The road ahead, Swarnandhra 2047 and Vikasit Bharat. Under the able leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji and the visionary Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh Sri Chandrababu Naidu ji, we are building a prosperous and progressive India. The synchronized governance of this double engine Sarkar ensures that the vision of Swarnandhra 2047, a state of happy, healthy and wealthy people, contributes to the larger goal of Vikasit Bharat. So this bill is yet another step towards the robust government, stronger financial systems and empowered citizens. I stand in support of these reforms that pave the way for a brighter and more secure future for all. In addition to that, sir, give me 1 minute. 2 more suggestions for me. See, at the district level, when PMEGS and MSME loans are, sanctioned, uploaded in one instance I'll give you, in SBI, 80 applications have been uploaded, the cleared were only 5. So, the cleared instruction should be given to the banks so that these people will get the benefit out of it. Another, I request through you, Honorable Finance Minister, to strengthen or streamline the conditions, terms for the OTS scheme in banking. And also, there are, while considering the banking recapitalization, I request Honorable Finance Minister to have a stringent and basis, look for the stringent basis for the recapitalization of the banks. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you. Sri Anil Desai, Honorable Member Anil Desai.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. Banking Laws Amendment Bill 2024 is a proposed legislation seeks to improve governance standards, provide consistency in reporting by banks to RBI, ensure better protection for the depositors and investors, improving audit quarterly in public sector banks, bring customer convenience in respect of nominations and providing for the increase in the tenure of the directors in the cooperative banks. The bill proposes to amend, namely, RBI Act 1934, Banking Regulation Act 1949, State Bank Act 1955, Banking Companies Acquisition and Transfer of Undertakings 1970 and 1980. So this BR Act 1945 amendment in Section 5, the first amendment, is to redefine the substantial interest, the threshold that the shareholder of beneficial interest by an individual from 5 lakh to 2 crores, as it is being redefined since the last time it was taken up, that was way back in 1968. But the moot question lies here that it is being raised to 2 crores, the limit is being raised to 2 crores. Whether, I hope the minister would explain that whether is it with a specific purpose or it may give the impression that to accommodate rich as compared to poor or the banking, one who is well versed with the banking institution. Because I'm stating this because banking industry is one of the major sectors which is indicator of the health of the economy. And in India, fortunately, banks have been doing well in the last few years. So amendment in Section 10A of the Banking Regulation Act, increasing tenure of directors from 8 years to 10 years, excluding the chairman and the whole-time director in cooperative banks. Now this is to align with the 97th amendment, it is mentioned, which had taken place in 2011. Now, 8 to 10 years, now this being a cooperative itself, department being a state subject, would it be in the interest of the state more than the center to decide on this? Though I'm aware that the entire this thing of the industry that lies in the finance ministry, and of course RBI is there to regulate the whole system. Further amending section 16 of the BR Act to allow directors of the Central Cooperative Bank, he can be simultaneously, if he gets elected, he can be director in the State Cooperative Bank also. Now here also the question comes whether it is with the intention of accommodating someone who's got vested interest, as cooperative banks didn't have a good history as far as state of Maharashtra or other states are concerned. Because cooperative banks have always seen upheavals, they have seen the ups and downs, and more downs have come in the recent past. And to help them to bail out, that becomes a big question, and then the entire question becomes a political scenario where if the board of directors comes from the ruling party, they are spared. If they are coming from the opposition party, they are hanged. So this needs to be explained in proper perspective. Sir, amendment of section 18, 24, 25 and section 56 of the BR Act, that is to revise reporting dates from a submission of the statutory reports by the banks to RBI, which is a very necessary step, and that is mandatory, as to align them with the last day of the fortnight. It was earlier from Friday to the next two Saturday. If the Saturday and it is aligned with the holiday and so that used to make a very much difference in reporting. So that has been taken out, that has been erased out by this amendment, which of course would be seen in good light. But supervisory role which was being played all along by the Reserve Bank, has it been lessened? The inspection which used to take place in the banking system, that has really gone down, and now to buck it up, to bring it to a certain level, these steps were necessary, and I think if any other motive was there, could be explained while answering when the bill is being passed. Amending section 45ZA, 45ZC and 45ZE of BR Act to allow the nominations up to 4 persons to ease services for the depositors. This is also, though it looks welcome, but as it has been mentioned earlier by one of the speakers, that does it not spoil or does it not come in the way of Indian Succession Act? Because on the death of the account holder, the succession becomes, and you have to get the probate from the court unless that is been dealt with at detail. The account or the nominees also, they do have problem in operating the account. So even that needs some explanation. Amending section 38 of SBI Act 1955, section 10B of the Banking Companies Act, that is transfer, acquisition and transfer, 1970, and section 10B of the 1980 for transfer of unclaimed dividends, shares and interest, or redemption of bonds to Investor Education and Protection Fund, allow the individual to claim the transfer of or refunds from that account. These steps were welcome and expected also, but the major thing is today, if you go by the reports, that due to steps not taken at a regular interval, even non-performance by the bankers as far as KYC of the depositors are concerned, many accounts have been there and they are dying in a dormant position. I think RBI today only issued a missive or advisory to the banks stating that, get the inoperative accounts, get them made active. So according to me, that these kind of steps which are for passing or transferring that to Investor Education and Protection Fund, that is also a step in that direction, and it's a welcome step, I would say, because investors do need this support, because today more than banking, people have moved away from banking as a source to save, and all other elsewhere. Instead of banking, people have moved out because they find that is more lucrative than banking. And sir, that section 41 of the SBI Act, that is to bring in the auditor or the discretion to the bank for appointing the auditor and remuneration of the auditor. I think RBI is not moving away from its, or it is not going away from its duty, that whenever anything happens, any funds transfer or anything which is of suspicious nature which takes place and becomes a scam in future, RBI should not be moved out, as otherwise remuneration is decided and the auditor is decided by the bank itself. Then bank and the auditor, they come into issue, they come into problem, and RBI moves out of the picture. And lastly, I would make a point, sir, that GDP in the last quarter, that has come down to 5.4, and that is industrial, because industrial output was not up to the mark. That credit offtake, which is seen that this will facilitate the banking industry and the depositors and the investors, that people at large would be making use of banking facility. I think that is not going, because if the credit minister may explain while answering that whether credit offtake is smooth in the banking industry. If that be so, then where the private investment is, why the GDP is going down. And lastly, last but not least, that whenever bank comes into an issue in the problem because of any kind of scams or mismanagement, bailout is the only option. And in the last few years, that bail-in was the option being thought over, where bad bank was to come into picture. What is the picture now? Because once bailout is the thing that the government has been doing, recapitalizing the banks with the funds and reflushing that banking funds so that bank can operate very smoothly. Nowadays, it is the other way around. If bail-in comes in, people will move away from the banking system. If not, that is not to happen. We'll have to make the banking industry very strong.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Shri Alok Kumar Suman.
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदय कि आपने द बैंकिंग लॉ अमेंडमेंट बिल 2024 पर अपनी बात रखने का मौका दिया। भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था को आगे बढ़ाने में बैंकों की महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका रही है। सरकार ने समय समय पर सुधार कर बैंकिंग सिस्टम को बेहतरीन बनाने की प्रयास करते रही है। वर्तमान विधेयक द बैंकिंग लॉ अमेंडमेंट बिल 2024 का लाने का उद्देश्य यह है कि बैंकिंग व्यवस्था और अधिक सुगम हो तथा देश में इन्वेस्टर को और डिपॉजिटर्स को और ज़्यादा प्रोटेक्शन मिले। इसके लिए रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1934, बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट 1949, स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1955 इत्यादि के अधिनियमों को संशोधन करना जरूरी था, ताकि हम बैंकिंग सिस्टम के गवर्नेंस को और कंज्यूमर ओरिएंटेड बना सकें। महोदय, द सेंट्रल बैंकिंग इंक्वायरी कमेटी 1931 में यह उल्लेख है कि उधार या कर्ज का लेन देन वैदिक पीरियड 2000 BC से 1400 BC तक होता था, जबकि भारत में यह 500 BC की से शुरुआत ये ऐसा माना जाता है और ये रिकॉर्डेड है। हमारे महान अर्थशास्त्री चाणक्य ने भी बैंकिंग सिस्टम की बात की है और कर्ज, उधार और व्यापार का संबंध बैंकिंग सिस्टम से बताई है। भारतीय इतिहास देखने से पता चलता है कि बैंकिंग व्यवस्था में वैदिक पीरियड से लेकर आज तक समय के अनुसार इसके रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस को अमेंड किया गया है, ताकि वर्तमान परिप्रेक्ष्य में हम डिपॉजिटर्स और इन्वेस्टर्स की हितों को पूरा कर सकें और इससे जुड़े लोगों को अच्छी व्यवस्था दे सकें। महोदय, वर्ष 1935 में रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया की स्थापना की गई। तब से अभी तक आरबीआई ने 90 साल की अवधि बैंकिंग गवर्नेंस में सफलतापूर्वक पूरा किया है। बैंकिंग अमेंडमेंट बिल 2020 के पास होने से निश्चित रूप से सरकारी बैंकों का ऑडिट क्वालिटी व्यापक और बेहतर होगा। साथ ही साथ ट्रांसपेरेंसी आएगी और देश में व्यापार, लेन देन, लोन तथा उपभोक्ता के हित में होगा। महोदय, द बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट 1945 के सेक्शन 5 में सब्सटेंशियल इंटरेस्ट को दोबारा परिभाषित किया गया है और इसे 5 लाख से बढ़ाकर 2 करोड़ किया गया है। महोदय, इसमें मेरा सुझाव होगा कि हम इसको अगर 5 करोड़ तक रखते हैं तो वर्तमान वैल्यू के साथ होगा। तथा छोटे व्यक्तियों जो बैंक से जुड़े हैं उनकी भी इंटरेस्ट की पूर्ति होगी और इन्वेस्टर्स तथा डिपॉजिटर्स की हितों की भी और रक्षा होगी। महोदय, द बैंकिंग रेगुलेशन एक्ट के सेक्शन 10A के सब सेक्शन 2A में भी अमेंडमेंट किया गया है ताकि कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स के डायरेक्टर्स का टेन्योर 8 साल से बढ़ाकर 10 साल हो और यह संशोधन 19th अमेंडमेंट संविधान के 19th अमेंडमेंट 2011 के समरूप हो। महोदय, हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी एवं हमारे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री श्री नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व में बैंकिंग सिस्टम एक कुशल और रिकॉर्ड क्रेडिट और प्रॉफिट वाला बैंक बन रहा है। हमारे माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में बिहार में सबसे पहली बार स्टूडेंट क्रेडिट कार्ड शुरू की गई और स्टूडेंट लोन के लिए सरकार गारंटर बनी और हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में सरकार ने 3.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए बैंकों में सुधार एवं सुविधा के लिए खर्च किया। महोदय, यह कुशल नेतृत्व का ही प्रभाव है कि वर्ष 2018 में जो नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट 11.25% था, जो 2023 में इसमें 3% की कमी आई। आरबीआई की डेटा के अनुसार 57,585 करोड़ रुपए 2015-16 में राइट ऑफ किया गया और वर्ष 2016-17 में 81,683 करोड़ और वर्ष 2017-18 में 1,28,229 करोड़ रुपए राइट ऑफ की गई। महोदय, इस विधेयक पर अपनी बात रखते हुए मैं कुछ और सुझाव देना चाहता हूँ। सर, 1 मिनट
प्लीज कंक्लूड।
सब खत्म हो गया। सुझाव देना चाहूँगा कि देश में बैंकिंग सिस्टम से आम आदमी और व्यापार को दूर दराज और गांव तथा पहाड़ी इलाकों में रहने वाले लोगों को भी बैंकिंग सुविधा मिले। गांव में जहां पर बैंक अभी तक नहीं है तथा आबादी 10,000 से ज़्यादा है, वहां पर बैंक की परमानेंट यूनिट की स्थापना की जाए ताकि किसान और आम आदमी और उसके ट्रेडिंग के बैंकों से वो फ़ायदा ले सकें। और मेरा एक और सुझाव है कि बैंकों में खाली पड़े सभी परमानेंट वैकेंसीज को भरी जाए ताकि बैंक के काम काजों में और ज़्यादा इजाफा हो। महोदय, शिक्षा के लिए लोन जो कि हायर एजुकेशन पाने के लिए दिया जाता है उसको भी सिंप्लीफाई करके अधिक से अधिक छात्रों को लोन दी जाए। इंडियन बैंक एसोसिएशन के डाटा के वर्ष 2022-23 में 24,997 करोड़ रुपए का लोन दिया गया था। बस 1 मिनट, लास्ट लाइन सर,
प्लीज कंक्लूड।
और वर्ष 2023-24 में 28,699 करोड़ रुपए का लोन दिया गया जो कि एक सराहनीय कदम था। महोदय, मैं इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ इस बिल का समर्थन करते हुए अपनी बात समाप्त करता हूँ। धन्यवाद।
श्रीमती सुप्रिया सुले।
Sir, I stand here in support of the banking bill today. And I would like to ask a few questions and highlight a few points and a few suggestions to the Honorable Finance Minister of India. She has brought in this bill with a good intention of improving banking, which we all are happy to be a part of that system, with more transparency and make sure that every depositor and investor is protected. What does a bank bring to you? Bank is a relationship only of trust. You trust the bank, that's why you go to a bank. So clearly, when it's a relationship of trust, the first thing you expect is protection in that relationship. So I appreciate what she has done, but I'd like to ask her a few questions which she could kindly answer in her reply. Is in the point 3, clause B, you have the suggestion given is regarding the tenure of the directors in the cooperative banks. My suggestion to the Honorable Finance Minister is, like when we did the Companies Act, we had made it prospective. So whether you make it 8 years or 10 years, whatever you've recommended, can we make sure that it's prospective? Because what will happen if right now there's such a big change in the system, there will be a whole generation of people, of directors, who will have to either be moved out. So that could create a huge disruption. So why not make it prospective? So starting from this year, it's a suggestion. Maybe you can put it a few years here and there. But I think it will help the industry. So it could be a plan of the next 5 to 10 years that a new crop, if you're probably wishing to bring in. Because in cooperative, sir, like you and I get elected, in the cooperative banking, they're elected members. So a elected member, they have capped it. I don't know what the intention of the government is to cap it. I'm sure it's a very noble intention. But if it's prospective, it will really help the industry. Hence, I'm making this recommendation to her. In the second point where she has talked about governance, standardization, and making sure that the depositors are protected. Sir, I have this question, which in the PMC case, the Honorable Finance Minister was most helpful the last time when we reached out to her for help in this case. But there's another bank called Shivaji Bhosle Sahakari Bank in Maharashtra, which is a cooperative bank. And there are many banks pan-India where the investors are not protected. Then they put the 5 lakh rupee cap. When you say, the normal reply from the government is that 95% people get their deposits back. It's only the 5% who don't get it. It's the large ones. Sir, from 5 to 10 to 15 to 25 is not a large amount. And what happens in these kind, I'm going to make a very pragmatic statement now, is really if somebody does a financial fraud in this country, should we put them in jail? Should be the first action. My question is, it's an humble suggestion which has come to me from people in my constituency and my state, that when there is a financial fraud, you pick up somebody, put them in jail. They are sitting in jail for 10 years, for I'll say. Nothing happens. People are still suffering. They don't get their money back. So what is the big advantage of arresting somebody? I'm not saying don't arrest them. What I'm trying to suggest is, why not first make that person pay back to all the poor people who he owes or she owes the money to, and then put them in jail or whatever system you want. So in any financial fraud, because what happens is the PMC, like an example, which she has been very indulgent towards us in helping, when those people, that entire family was arrested, for years nobody got any hearing, for the reason that all the assets were in their name, there was nobody in the family to sell it, so the deposit never got any money. And then what happens if it's in a huge litigation, the government goes to court, it takes forever. It's the same thing what has happened in the IBC Act. The intention of the IBC Act was very, very good. You put them into solvency, but what happens, the court, which was first an arbitrator, a facilitator has become an arbitrator now. So you go to court, but justice is never done. So what is the whole intention of, I'm not saying, please don't misunderstand me, I'm not saying if somebody does a fraud, don't arrest them. Please do arrest them. But can we first have a system where you pay back the depositors? What is the intention of doing all this? Of cleaning up the system to making it a fair justice system so that the depositor is protected? How will you protect the depositor if he or she doesn't get the money back in time? They don't get loans, their children's loan, their insurance, their education loans. How does it help? Or health services. So the first thing I think we really need to think, put our minds up, maybe you can send it to a finance committee to think about it with a solution, put all our minds, because nobody is against this bill. So how do we innovate to the next step? Strengthen our banking system and make sure the depositors is my suggestion to the Honorable Finance Minister. And she's also suggested that the Investor Education Protection Fund. The protection fund is like a pension fund. Now this government for years have been raising it, sir, that the EPS 95, it's a little bit away from the banking bill, but I'd like to highlight, I'm just drawing a comparison, that the EPS 95 pensioners have given money which is lying with the government. They don't get the money that was committed to them. Now in a pension, for years, it's been a decade, I mean, I'd like to quote, unfortunately he's no more with us, but Honorable Arun Jaitley ji, when he was the finance minister, had committed to the EPS 95 people to get the money that they deserve. It's their own pension money, but they never got it. So I don't want this scheme also to go in the same way, because we've had a history. So I hope that this Investors Education and Protection Fund, since you're calling a pension and a protection fund, is something very similar. So I hope there is no confusion in any of this, and the EPS 95, which is the pension money, they should also get it. One most important point is the cyber. As a matter of fact, just today, in today's newspaper, it has come, sir, that just in Delhi alone, 452 crores cases worth of scams in banks have occurred just in the last 1 year. This is just, I'm talking only about Delhi, sir. 452 crores. So how are we going to ride over the technology? How are we going to ride over dark net? So how is this, what is government going to do, or are you working with the banks? Because if you are making sure that you don't want scamsters, you want investors to be protected, so all these old senior citizens whose money is lying in the bank, how are we going to help them and protect them? Because a lot of times they get little notes, they click on it and the money is gone. So what intervention is the government doing for technology? It's going to be very, very hard. I do understand, because not necessary that this dark net is anybody sitting in India. It could be anywhere in the world. So what intervention is the government doing to safeguard all the securities in the bank? Two small points I'd like to ask. That they were talking about all the banks, which Samvit Patraji extensively talked about how well the banks are doing. I appreciate that the mergers really did the good job of the merging, was a very good suggestion and an idea, and that's why the banks are looking much better and stronger. But was it the bank balance sheet appropriation that really made the magic? And writing off or haircut, you can call it whatever, was the reason that the banks are looking stronger? So if you could kindly clarify and see what it is. And one last point is that a lot of, you talk about the Mudra loan, Government of India gives a lot of sovereign guarantee for many things. But there's a new thing which we are seeing, especially in our constituencies, for farmers, education loans, that the banks are giving a lot of money to NBFCs. It's a very last small point.
Please.
NBFCs. Now when the bank gives a loan, it's in say 5%, 6, 8%. When there is they give it to NBFCs. So the core job of the bank is to give the loan. They are outsourcing it to NBFCs who are increasing the interest rates. So how do we control this interest rate? Because it's happening in a lot of farm loans that the NBFCs the interest rates are very high while the banking is not. And the last very, very small point, which I know she will give us a clarification, that banking globally is becoming smaller because the deposits in the banks are going down, because in the economies which are fast growing, people are moving to mutual funds as an option. So this is not this is not for the bill, but eventually, maybe 5-10 years from now, since we're talking about banking, is the government have some plans of the growth of banks? Because if the deposits will eventually over a period of time go down and people will prefer to go to mutual funds over banking and conservative safe deposit as an option. So where does banking go in the next few years? Since this is such a comprehensive bill you're bringing for safety, I think we will have to think about this. So I ask her that with the economy being the way it is, because in the last quarter the economy has come down to 5.4. And I know that she has, the Honorable Finance Minister herself has been quoted in a newspaper that she's looking to cut the interest rates. So is this an option they are looking at? Because the Commerce Ministry and the Finance Ministry have been quoted today. So with the slow growth, unemployment going up, the food inflation going up, what is the government's plan? Because this was 5.4 is something we've been predicting for last, because India is no more an insulated economy with the global crisis. I would request her to please talk about how she is going to look at the growth story of India. Thank you.
Thank you. Sri Konda Vishwa Reddy.
Ravinder Vaikar.
So, sorry, Sri Ravinder Vaikar. Ravinder Vaikar thereafter. It is there? Okay.
But that's your style. That's your style. Repo mein she believes in positive.
Okay. बैंकिंग कानून संशोधन विधेयक 2024। आज मैं इस सदन में बैंकिंग लॉज अमेंडमेंट बिल 2024 पर अपने विचार रखने के लिए खड़ा हूँ। ये विधेयक भारतीय बैंकिंग प्रणाली को सशक्त और आधुनिक बनाने की दिशा में एक ऐतिहासिक कदम है। ये विधेयक न केवल बैंकिंग क्षेत्र में पारदर्शिता और प्रभावशाली लाने का प्रयास करता है, बल्कि जमाकर्ता और निवेशकों अधिकारों की रक्षा के लिए ठोस प्रावधान करता है। ये विधेयक रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया अधिनियम 1934, बैंकिंग अधिनियम 1949, भारतीय स्टेट बैंक अधिनियम 1955 और बैंकिंग कंपनियां अधिग्रहण और हस्तांतरण अधिनियम 1970 और 1980 में संशोधन करता है। इसके माध्यम से बैंकिंग क्षेत्र में आधुनिक प्रबंध और संचालन के अनुसार बनाया गया है। इस बिल में संशोधन किए गए जिसके बारे में सभागृह में बात हुई है, मैं खाली टाइम का ये देखते हुए इसके लिए मेरे कुछ सुझाव